I was curious about NOVA. There's been traditionally, this adversarial relationship between law enforcement and ex-felons. Has it been a challenge to try to attract ex-offenders into the NOVA program so far?
Not from my standpoint. It's actually been going very well. Having law enforcement working with ex-offenders with community-based organizations, and I think it's a formula that can be replicated, and that's been working very well.
Let me give you just an example. What I've seen and experienced over the last year. Typically, you're right, there's typically adversarial relationships between programs or clients' perceptions of programs that are run by law enforcement, whether probation or district attorney's offices or parole offices. What I've seen in the last year is that when a client, how we deal with this with the client individually is when the client's accepted, there's an assessment done and an orientation, and the client is explained the relationship of the sheriff's department, that they're overseeing the program, but they will have very little contact, if any, with the sheriff's department. And the other example is I've been to numerous site visits out in the community with Senior Deputy Terry, and invariably clients will run up to Senior Deputy versus run away from Senior Deputy. I don't know if maybe it's unique to San Francisco, the Sheriff's Department. I think it is. It is unique to the San Francisco that the Sheriff's Department here is almost seen, at least that's what I'm witnessing, is that clients are responding to Senior Deputy saying, even up in San Quentin, we went up there and clients are saying, Senior Dep, I said, remember 5 years ago, San Bruno, or, and I don't know, what I'm experiencing is this feeling of clients are almost seeing the Sheriff's Department in San Francisco as the protector or guardian while they are in. And that may be unique to San Francisco. But also, Senior Deputy Terry has actually, on occasions, when caseworkers have exhausted their tools of mediation or de-escalation, sometimes when clients have had problems and the caseworkers feel that this might still get violent, Senior Deputy has come in, and he's worked with these guys before, and kind of sat them down and said, do you remember what we're doing here? That this is a violence prevention program, and that has worked very well. Also, just one last example. We had a NOVA client that had some things in his past had come back to haunt him while he was on NOVA. And a DA warrant had popped up, and he was told to turn himself in. And typically, he wanted to run. And he had talked to Senior Deputy Terry, and Senior Deputy Terry had explained the situation. He didn't run from Senior Deputy Terry. Senior Deputy explained the consequences. The Public Defender's Office, to show you the collaboration, the Public Defender's Office, one of the supervisors, the felony supervisors, took the time to meet with him and explain the consequences as well. And the NOVA caseworkers spoke with his mother. So there was a lot of discussion about this. And then finally the client decides to turn himself in. And it's 6:30 at night, and we went and had a meal first, and he thought he was going in for 3 years. And so a very young kid, 19, had not been to prison yet. And we're walking across the street, and he's telling us, will you guys come visit and bring me books and this, and I'm going to go to charter school, and and all of a sudden he sees Sheriff Hennessy at the cafe across the street. And next thing you know, he runs to see the Sheriff Hennessy and goes up to him and tells him what's happening. And Sheriff Hennessy says, I'm very proud of you, and I think you're doing the right thing, and this is a very difficult thing for you to do. And they embraced and hugged, and I thought, another caseworker was with me, and another NOVA client was with me, and we walked across the street in awe, sort of. I just don't know if that's ever, I've never heard of an opportunity where a client a young, scared man has taken the opportunity to embrace his jailer, before he goes in. And I'll tell you that since then, the client has gotten out. He's gotten out very quickly. The Public Defender's Office worked on the case. The client has gotten out, and now he's entering one of the transitional programs. So.
Okay. I'd like to bring Billy Booker into this discussion. He is an ex-offender, and he's been through the NOVA program. So why don't you tell us your experience, how the NOVA program has helped you reintegrate?
First of all, like someone mentioned before, I never thought my violent past would be able to assist me with, help me. It always seemed to hold me back. You know, you have a criminal history, can't hire you. But someone came up with this genius ideal that your past could help you. And so I'd like to thank Sheriff Henderson for that opportunity. But they helped me with so much as housing, a safe environment where I could come down and stay. And in that area, someone mentioned also, I think it was George, that usually when I was released from county jail, I would run up towards 6th Street or the drugs or the red light district, something I was familiar to. By being in Nova before I started attending City College and working, I had a safe environment that I could come down and get on the computers. I can attend groups. And they advocated everything for me because I didn't have communication skills where I would deal with, I had issues dealing with SSI, I had some outstanding debts at City College, I had some traffic tickets, and they gave me an opportunity to work those tickets off within Nova. And Richard had signed them off, parking tickets, but I worked, and so they purchased clothes for me, and the group's anger management, victim impacts let me see the other side of the victim. When the guests came in to speak, I see how I traumatized people, robbing and putting guns in their face, and they would never be the same. Someone couldn't even go out and provide for their families. So it allowed me to see other side of the victims that I affected in my criminal lifestyle. So it helps me mentally. I mean, they gave me tutoring while I was in school, in midterms, and, they did so much for me, fast passes, so many things, man. Mentally, physical, it's all around helped me, great services.
Well, I have one suggestion, and that is, I think one thing that Nova could work on is outreach and publicity. I was trying to do an internet search on Nova, and I couldn't find anything. And if I can't find anything, I imagine it must be difficult for ex-offenders to find out information about Nova. So are you working on trying to get the word out about your program?
Well, right now, right now, Nova is a pilot project where we're just accepting so many ex-offenders into the program. The way you get in is either through jail or through one of the community-based organizations that are linked with Nova, and we're also going into the prison systems. The pilot project was just to reach out to about 80 to 100 individuals initially, and we got some money through Jeff Adachi's Community Safe organization, and so we expanded on it for about 60 more individuals. So the program, really, it's a pilot program, and it's filled up. So if I go to advertise and have nothing to give out, then that hurts. It hurts the program more than helps it. So that's why you really don't find out much about it unless you've been incarcerated or unless you're really linked with your community-based organizations that we're linked with.
So the NOVA program is currently serving a couple of hundred ex-offenders right now?
Currently, there's 160 involved, active. And
Do you have plans to expand the program?
we're working on trying to get more grants and more money to expand the program, but like anything, it's resources, as in financial resources.
Okay, thank you.